Hey, Chris, what's up? My name is Sanjay. I run an internet marketing company called SurfCAD SEO. We specialize in small and local and small businesses in the San Francisco Bay Area, and our goal is to mainly help small businesses get more traffic through their websites. And I noticed your listing on the in the Alameda Chamber of Commerce, and decided I would do this quick video presentation to show you that you're kind of leaving a lot of money on the table right now by not leveraging the internet to the fullest capacity in terms of being able to drive leads to you. So what I wanted to do is quickly demonstrate, start with showing you the Google AdWord, this is the Google Keyword Planner. And what I've done is I've taken the main towns that you're trying to rank for. That's basically San Leandro, Castro Valley, Oakland, Hayward, Berkeley, and so on. And then I've also looked at all of your main money keywords, which are basically air conditioning and furnace related, whether it's installation, repair, contractor, so on and so forth. And the good news is that, just your money keywords, it appears like when you kind of add it all up, there's a 50-year, 50, 100, 140, 180, 200, like 250 or so of just basically your main money keywords. And then once you start adding some other kind of like air conditioning service, HVAC system, perhaps there's some other like heating and air conditioning. Once you start throwing in some of these other keywords and ranking for those, there's kind of a lot more organic traffic that you can generate out of kind of ranking for some of these other keywords as well. So the good news is there's definitely a lot of traffic in these cities for the services you're offering. The bad news, of course, is that since these are high ticket items, if you were to go the route of advertising for it, this is kind of what you would pay per click, for somebody looking for AC repair in one of these cities, right? So it's fairly kind of, these leads are, if you were to do it through an advertising strategy, they're fairly expensive to get. And of course, the value of each lead is, it's just the click to your website, right? It's actually really the value of the, what you're paying for generating the traffic. It doesn't automatically mean they're going to fill a form on your site and become a lead or, call you, right? So it's kind of a pretty expensive keyword to be solely focusing on an advertising based strategy. So definitely search engine optimization, which is more kind of organic way of doing stuff. The idea there, of course, is that you're building long-term equity, because once you start ranking for some of these keywords, you continue ranking as long as you have a good foundation underneath it. You continue ranking for several months and sometimes even several years. So with that, I'd like to kind of just move to your site. The site itself is actually a really nice looking site. It's very clean. I've got to definitely congratulate you on the work you've put in on this. However, there's a few things I'll point out right away. I mean, one of the things I always tell my clients is that content is king, and the more content you have, the more you have an opportunity to appropriately throw in the related keywords and all their variants, different ways of saying the same thing, without it sounding like you're just trying to stuff these keywords in artificially, right? And there's actually, if you go to my website, www.surfcatseo.com, surfcatseo.com, you'll see there's there's a lot of useful information that kind of goes into why you need to have more content, because content really helps drive traffic eventually. And just as a quick example, just to kind of illustrate this, what I'm going to do is I'll go to Google right now, and then if I were to simply, oh, sorry, that's the wrong Google. Okay, if I go to just Google right now and simply type in the word cat, right, and see who ranks the highest for that, you'll notice that Wikipedia is, the site that comes up first, even though there's a website called cat.com, which is, Caterpillar, large global industry. but nevertheless, Wikipedia page comes up above even the Caterpillar website. And the reason mainly is that if you go into that particular cat page in Wikipedia, it's got, thousands and thousands of words, and, it's just so packed with information that, it's obviously going to rank higher than any other page, because nothing else has so much information about cats on a single page, right? So really it comes down to, content, and content is king. And, when you have this much content, you can, have the word cat appearing in numerous places, and it, doesn't feel like you're kind of stuffing keywords in there, right? So you have like domestic cat, there's cat here, there's cats here, cats, different types of cats, again, house cats, feral cats. As you kind of look through it, you might see African wildcat and Indian domestic cat. And so, all the kind of main keywords and longer tail keywords and everything else kind of gets captured in a way that's, sensible. It's, it's not artificial. So that's really what's making these guys rank so high. So, one of the things I'll point out to you is that, while this is a beautiful site, the information on the homepage, you could, really put in a, if you had like a, 1,500 words or so, it would really, pop and make things better. The other thing I would say is, I always, if you go to like Facebook or LinkedIn or something, and if you've not signed into those accounts, you'll always see there's a really clear call to action form on the right side. It says, sign up here or something like that. I like to do something like that on websites, because it's giving, it's called, you're, basically trying to optimize for your conversion. So when somebody comes to the website, yes, you have a telephone number here, but it's not a click to call. If they're on a mobile device, they can't just, click on this to call you. There's no easy form to, call you from on this first page. I have to go and, look you up on the contact page and then find your form and then, fill in the information and all that. I like to have a lot of call to actions all over the site, because that's, that's what, really helps drive conversion. So if you go to my website, right there on the first page, there's some information, there's a YouTube video, and then bam, there's the call to action right there. It says, free consultation, contact us now, right? So that's, you need that kind of stuff, and you just need, and by the way, this button is, it's optimized for mobile. So when somebody, is on a mobile device, they can actually click this button to make a phone call. And so, those are some of the things you can do to really start working on the conversion rate for your traffic, right? So there's, there's the amount of content, some of these things. So there's a few low-hanging fruits you can address, and then that'll really start, helping you towards better ranking. Now, I do see individual pages for each of the services, which is, really good, because a lot of times people will have one service page and just, have 4 bullet points, and that really doesn't help them. And then they're wondering why they don't rank. So I do like the fact that you have these individual pages, but again, each of these pages, if we really boosted up the content, it's going to, make you rank much better, right? So that's sort of my kind of 2 cents on the website itself. And I'm going to, just if I pulled up Google and then searched for air conditioning repair in San Leandro, the good news is for the city, you do rank, fairly high. And so you end up, coming here right on the first page, your organic listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is, not bad at all. But for like the other cities, and if I look for, furnace and all that, you're not ranking as high. And, again, I'll go back to my site for a second to illustrate why this is so important, right? And I think if I go on this page, I have some information. So as you can see, the person that's getting the first spot on Google, right, that's the first organic ranking for a keyword, typically gets about 32% of all the traffic that's looking for that particular keyword. The person on the second listing gets about 17%. Third listing is 11%. By the time you come down to the 5th listing, it's just over 5%. And then, of course, if you're anywhere on page 2, you're basically just hugging, 0 right here, right? I think 15 is like 0.4% or something. So, if you're not on page 1, it doesn't really help you from generating, traffic. I think as the saying goes, the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of the Google search results, right? Because you're just not going to be found there. So again, one thing to keep in mind is, we want you ranking on the first page for kind of all of your money keywords. And let's take a quick look at, where you are. And I just took like air conditioning repair and furnace repair as two examples, and then I looked up 5 different cities for each of these. And as you can see, for San Leandro, obviously you're ranking well, right? So air conditioning repair, we just saw that you were number 5. And then also for like furnace repair in San Leandro, once again, you're 7, and that's probably because that's where you're based out of, so it's giving you a little bit more kind of juice for that city. But if you look at all the other cities, right, furnace repair in Berkeley, you're on page 10. Air conditioning repair Alameda, you're in the middle of page 2. Oakland, you're on page 4. Furnace repair in Hayward, you're page 6. So a lot of this is not helping you get traffic. The good news though is that since you're already ranking for these keywords, right, it's not that Google doesn't think you're not relevant, it's just that we've got to make you more relevant. So if you keep that in mind, these are kind of these are what I call as the little gold nuggets, because you're already ranking for them. Google already thinks you're relevant for these keywords, just not relevant enough. We just have to push you up further up on that ranking scale. So having said that, let's quickly go to this tool here shows the organic traffic you're generating based on your keywords. And again, right now your keywords, most of the keywords that's generating traffic for you, you're not on the first page for most of them. So, it seems like towards the beginning of the year, you were getting like a couple of visits, couple of unique, visits to your site through the keywords. And then, that's not a lot, given that we saw that there's 200 plus people looking for the service in just your money keywords. And then it just dropped all the way to kind of like 0, right? So you have a beautiful site, you're already ranking for some keywords. It's low hanging fruit to go and fix things and kind of get you ranking much higher, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you and give you this information. The other thing I want to talk to you about really quickly is the backlinks that you have right now. You've got a total of 17 backlinks coming out of 4 domains. And so if you look at this trust flow indicator and the citation flow indicator, typically we like to see the higher these numbers are. This is a scale from 0 to 100. 100 being like, if you looked at Wikipedia, it's probably 100. So if you try and you want to get more backlinks, and you want to get them from more referring domains, and you also want them to be a good number of them to be high quality domains referring links back to you, and that increases both the citation flow and then the trust flow. And once you have really good content and you have the trust flow working on your favor, that's kind of when you start really getting up on top of Google search, right? And so again, just kind of looking at this, these are the backlinks you have. And as I said, you've got Yellow Pages, you've obviously got the Chamber of Commerce, and that's all helping you a little bit, but just not nearly enough, right? So that's what we've got to focus on, is really ramp up the all the links you have, like get you hundreds of links, and then just boost up your trust flow and all that, and that should help a lot as well. Lastly, I want to kind of look at I guess this search, sometimes it takes a while to generate it. I was going to try and look for citations for your business, and citations are essentially like directory listings, the more places on the internet that have your business's name, address, and phone number, the more kind of it suggests that it's a real business, and you've been around and all that, right? So it's again kind of like a word of confidence. It passes on additional trust. It's actually really useful for local ranking, because if you're trying to rank in local towns and for industry specific niches, having a lot of citations definitely helps. So that'll be another thing that we'd focus on, or you'd focus on, to get your rankings higher. So I just wanted to leave you with this information. I'm going to send you an email, and again, my website is www.surfcatseo.com. I can really help you with fixing these things and get you ranking much higher. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. I hope you found this information useful, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.